thought of something.
Welcome back to Double Dose. I'm your host, Dipesh.
And I'm your host, Daniel.
And we're here to take you from Earth to the end of a Kamehameha charger.
Oh, yeah.
Infinite.
I love how when they would do it in the show, it was more like a push.
Yeah.
It would just kind of push them. And heaps of times they're like, I'm just going to push you into the sun.
Yeah. And then if they were like getting beaten, it would just, you'd be like, more, and push harder.
Yeah. So did you know this about the Kamehameha wave? What I loved is if you watch the Dragon Ball original series, you know, when Goku's very small.
You got the little Nimbus.
He's got the Nimbus and it was the Dragon Ball before it was Dragon Ball Z. The Kamehameha wave was blasting all your good intention at someone. So you would defeat your enemies by blasting just pure goodness at them. It wasn't like you get super angry and unleash the rage. It was more you unleashed your inner self-will.
So how come the enemies were able to do like their version of it?
Only Cell could do it.
Because he replicated people.
Because he could copy people. So his cells could copy what they did.
Why did it just take me till now to realize his name was Cell? Because he literally took people's cells.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
He was Cell because he grew from a single cell as well. So he grew and could replicate.
He was created by Capsule Corp, right?
Yeah.
In the future.
Dr. Giraud.
I guess I forgot that part. Maybe just as a kid, I never made the connection. I was too busy eating Zenzu beans from a tree, you know?
Yeah. I can't believe you didn't make that. I was like, I guess Cell, of course, because he's...
so freaky.
He's like an alien organism and he grew from a single cell and can absorb cells. I thought it all worked on so many levels.
That little saga right when he's first introduced and you're following Trunks. Dude, the listeners right now, I don't even know if all of them watch Dragon Ball Z. They're probably like, what the hell? The little sequence of like Trunks trying to get from the future to the past.
Yeah.
And you see Cell, you hear Cell, he's like
Terminator shit.
Yeah, and then it's just shadows of him and then you just see clothes strewn throughout the streets.
How scary was that? It was
so scary.
And he's like sucking the life out of people.
Yeah, dude.
He was like an alien zombie that was just like suck your soul from you. And that was free. And the skin was left over.
Yeah, you saw them all go leathery and
the
insides get sucked out. Wasn't the two top androids, like the one that you thought was like the creator of the androids who turned out to be an android himself, wasn't he like instantly killed by Cell? And he was so powerful up until that point. And
then Cell just annihilated
the dude with the blue jelly dome of a head. You know, the glass dome head?
Android 16.
Yeah.
The guy with the green power armor looking dude?
He looked like I think he was like the creator of the androids, but he turned out to be an android.
You mean the guy that looked like a little Russian doll? The guy with the white face?
So him, the big dude and the chick and the black-haired Bob dude.
Yeah.
They were like the regular androids. And wasn't the dude with the grey hair with the blue glass dome with the liquid brain?
He was Android 20.
Wasn't he like portrayed as the creator but then turned out to be an android
himself? He turned himself into an android.
Right.
Yeah.
And then he was instantly killed by Cell, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Like he came onto the scene,
No.
oh, it's going to go down.
Other androids killed him.
Oh, right.
They didn't want him to control him. And he said, but you can't kill me, I created you. And he was like, bah, and chopped his head off.
But then didn't like one of the androids like come up to Cell and you're like, oh, this is going to go down. This new dude on the block is going to get destroyed because we just saw how crazy the androids were. And then the android just gets his life sucked out of him.
He didn't get sucked out of him. Cell
got the Glock 3000 by Cell.
Cell swallowed him whole. He's like his needle tail thing went big and ate them. That was so creepy.
I love for the people that don't watch Dragon Ball Z, they're just hearing like this needle tail thing and then the soul getting sucked out of someone. They're just picturing all sorts of stuff. I love it.
Yeah, it's gone too crazy now, the show for me.
There's a new movie coming out.
Yeah, I saw some of it.
I'm looking forward to that. It looks interesting.
Cell's in it.
Is he?
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's pretty cool.
Who was the last baddie I saw? It was Cell, then Majin Buu, and then
it went into, that was it for Dragon Ball Z. Then I went to Dragon Ball GT.
Right. And then
where it was
Broly
a completely new
stuff.
rider and they just went backwards. Goku turned into a kid again. Whole first saga sucked. There were scenes where he just like forgot how to fly. It's like, I'm falling off this ledge. Don't drop me. I'm like, you can fly, dude. What are you complaining about? And then 2 seconds later, he is flying.
Because Goten and Trunks were a thing.
Oh, man. The scene that tripped me out for the show was when the whole the saga before Cell Saga had finished, and then Cell Saga started, and the first thing you see is like Trunks, and he comes in and he's like, I'm from the future,
Yeah.
and in my world, everything is devastated,
Yeah.
and we need you, and here is a pill that will stop you from getting this crazy heart condition that will save you.
Yeah.
And I was like,
It was
this show
next
has
level.
gone ramped up. We're getting ultimate timelines.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought, God,
Because
dang.
Goku kept getting heart issues.
Yeah.
And he knew something was happening.
Yeah.
And dude, when you saw Trunks just turn Super Saiyan like that,
Yeah.
with no effort, and we just witnessed Goku go
Oh,
through.
it was the Frieza saga.
Was it the Frieza Saga?
Yeah, he
it was end of Frieza Saga.
End of Frieza saga.
Because Trunks just comes out of nowhere and goes.
They thought he
"Bop,"
was dead.
Down.
Yeah, they
Dead.
thought he was dead. Goku was dead, and then he comes back and he's like, hang out, this is another planet, I made it. But heaps of years
Yeah.
had passed.
Yes, but then doesn't Trunks just kill Frieza in an instant?
Yeah.
And everyone's like, "What?
Yeah.
How is this dude who's claiming to be like a relative
Chops
of ours?"
him in half with the sword. The Z
Next level,
sword.
dude. I got a little figurine of all the Dragon Ball Z characters, and Trunks' sword comes out of his little
Very
sheath.
cool.
Pretty cool.
That show did it for me, man. That was my
it was
drugs
next level,
coming
dude.
up.
It was next level,
That was my
dude.
drugs coming
And
up.
you'd go to school and you'd just geek out about the episode that you saw. Man, watching it back is tough, man. Those episodes drag out.
Yeah, they do. It's not like now where shit's happening so quick. They'd power up for like 3 episodes.
Yeah.
That's why people made a meme about it. It's hard to watch now. But there's so many fond memories of the
There
Cell
is.
Saga, which I thought was so good.
It was so good.
Yeah, big fond memories. If anyone is DBZ fan, sorry if you're not and you just had to listen to that. But
Oh, yeah, at least he's caught up now, right?
you really need to watch it because it is like a coming of age.
Go to the hyperbolic time chamber and start watching it.
Oh, the hyperbolic time chamber, that just blew my nut off as well.
When they were describing how like time is completely different.
Yeah, and
in
they
it.
go in there and come out in 1 year, and I thought, damn! And then they come out and they're just Super Saiyan all the time.
Yeah.
And they said, now we can maintain this.
Yeah.
Like constantly.
It was like Rock Lee training, fighting with the weights on.
Yeah.
And it was like an hour in real time passed, and it was a year gone.
1 day.
1 day, right?
They go up to Cell and they go, I can become stronger. Give me 24 hours.
Dude, remember when Piccolo fused with Kami? And it was Kamikolo or something like that? And it was like the really old Namek dude.
Oh, yeah.
That was funny because I think he had it was like the old dude mentality, but he was so OP for a bit.
Yeah. Good shit.
Hell yeah, dude. Love that show.
I love it. So I got a story, and I don't know if I told you about this.
Was this a story you were going to told me about at the end of the last episode?
Oh, I called and my sister and confirmed this story.
Everybody, listen up. We got the confirmation of what happened on
I
that.
called my mum first and said, how long was I missing for? She said 30 minutes.
Wow.
So it wasn't a short time.
Oh, and for everyone that doesn't know about this, stop what you're doing right now. Go back one episode,
Yeah.
listen to it all, and then come back to this episode.
That's right. So it was 30 minutes that I was missing, and mum said she was in tears. And
That's a long
she
time
was
for a kid to go missing.
Screaming, going to call the police.
Yeah.
'Cause she thought either someone had kidnapped me or
Yeah.
I've gotten out somehow, but everything was locked. Pretty odd that I didn't come out for 30 minutes. I think
Yeah.
that's too long of a time to
Way too long.
not something else have
Especially
happened.
for like a 1-year-old, you're saying?
I
Or
was,
almost 2
my
years
brother
old?
wasn't born. So, I confirmed with my sister. She doesn't even remember it.
And she wasn't even that
She was
young,
11,
though. She was,
about 11,
11.
12,
That's, not,
11,
that's
12.
an age to definitely remember something
Yeah.
like
So
that.
she says she doesn't even remember it at all.
Not even any of that happening. Like people
No.
looking for her.
No, none of it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And has she ever had any history of like passing out or anything like that?
Never.
Wow.
That's why we said that's weird.
That's crazy to be that old and not have a memory of it.
That's what I thought too. You're not
'Cause
a kid.
Yeah, not at all. Like that's like just you're in primary
You're
school.
almost a teenager.
Yeah, you're in year 6. Mm-hmm. You would have definitely remembered that.
Yeah, I remember she was still at primary school. I do remember everything about that day.
My theory is she rolled off the bed, bumped her head, and knocked out.
But I
for a bit.
checked the room.
But you said it was this little slither next to the bed.
No. It was just, picture this table that we are now. She was just lying on the other side of the... So picture if you lay down on the table here and we came in through the door there, I couldn't see you lying on the floor here, right? But I came into the room, opened, the cupboard was this side of the room. I opened both cupboards, had a look, and checked behind all the clothes, turned around, looked at the floor. She wasn't there. Then when I left, and then after about 30 minutes later, we hear her yelling out like, what? Like, what? Where have you been? I'm sleeping.
That's so
I go, what do you mean?
dude.
She goes, I don't know. And she got up and acted like nothing happened, but she was on the floor.
Yeah.
Which is such a weird place to sleep. And you weren't there before.
Yeah. She just materialized.
By the way, we have 4 people running around the house looking for her.
Yeah.
Not just, I'm doing it myself. Dad's running around the neighborhood and then he comes back in and goes, I don't know where she is.
Yeah.
It was serious.
You know what's also a little bit scary is that the fact that it happened to you and then you're the person that found your sister. Mm-hmm. Like a connection there or something.
Well, she just yelled out, and then when I ran upstairs and go, where have you been? And Dad was pissed because he thought you were just being stupid to the point that you're now upsetting everyone.
Yeah. It's funny, as you're explaining the story and mapping out this room, I feel like you've lifted the veil for those watching because they have no idea what's happening to the left and right of us or what's behind the camera.
Yeah.
And they don't even know about this whole crew setup we have.
Well, they saw
behind the camera here. Like we got
they don't know about
Mike, we got John.
Yeah, that's right.
All the setup over there, the lighting, it's nuts. You got the candy station over there, the little bar fridge over there, snack station over there. It's crazy.
Yeah. Pinball machine, everything.
Yeah. Humble beginnings.
Humble beginnings. Then we got the sign people telling us what to go to next and when we need to cut and all that. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Mike. So they saw a bit when I was showing the cards. The Pokemon cards. They showed a little bit.
Did they?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
You see a little bit. You see the computer.
Okay.
Oh, my secrets.
Yeah, true.
My secrets are gone.
Yeah. Dude, you're going to have to go back into that episode and key it all out.
Yeah.
In post.
So, what I want to tell you was a story that I used to do as a kid.
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever told you this. So, in the northwest suburbs where I grew up and went to high school, because I moved from the area I'm in now and I went northwest Sydney and then I came back to the other area. I used to do something called Darkie runs. Do you know? Ever tell you about this?
I have not even heard of this.
Okay.
As a trend that was even
on the way to
Sydney.
school, I used to ride my bike to school every day, and it was a big ride, man. It took me about half an hour of pumping it.
Whoa! How far was your school from home?
Like 10 Ks.
Jeez, if I took my bike to my high school, I would have gone to high school in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, no, it took me a while. I was at the bottom of a hill, so it was huge hills to ride.
Wow!
And it took me ages to get to school. And I was so sweaty on a big backpack, real heavy, not ergonomic bike. So I was wrecked. Anyway, we used to ride past this area where this big sewer pipe for the whole suburb would come out. One day we just stopped and chilled and we were waiting for someone because there was a meetup point where we did. I remember dropping my bike, climbing down the area and having a look. And these huge pipes were there and they were full of graffiti. And for some reason, we were obsessed about it was like almost a Stranger Things moment where you're on some sort of mission and you could visualize there was something down the end. Me and a couple mates went in to these big sewerage pipes and they were huge. They were, if you off the floor, they were probably up here.
Right.
So
and you're riding your bikes in these?
No. I dropped the
exploring?
bikes and you couldn't get the bike in there really, really comfortably.
Right.
So in grade 7, I could walk. It would not even touch my head. I could fully stand up in these things. But as you went deeper, it got more and more narrow.
Freaky. And I remember my friends doing this near our high school because we had big tunnels like this. And I've heard so many times in the news of flash flooding happening in this and the kids just dying.
Yeah,
terrible.
Dude.
It happens a lot.
So we did these things frequently. We went every morning for months.
Risky.
We just went, we're going to do it.
Just before school.
One time we went in so far that the floor gap was about this tall. And so
are there forks in the tunnels?
Yeah, there was turns, everything.
Oh,
so we
that's
were navigating
so freaky,
blind,
dude.
And there were so many spiders and cockroaches.
No, I'm out then.
And there was a point where the graffiti was on for a while, and then they got to a point where there was no graffiti anymore. Dude, we walked 1 hour in.
1 hour?
1 hour. We kept going in.
Did you try and mentally feel where you were in Sydney, like where you were traveling?
Yeah, we were trying to figure it out, but there were so many twists and turns and areas.
It's hard to tell.
There was power lines that we had to step around. We don't even know if they were live. We never touched them.
Dude, this is crazy.
Yeah, we went on so long.
Wow. Did he have torches and stuff with you?
No, the first couple times we didn't. We would just have like, my friend had a bicycle light and we'd try that and go real deep. There was so many turns and it got narrower and narrower. So we'd start off really comfortable, but then you'd be crouching for about an hour. We had to keep taking breaks because it got so low to the point that we were almost on our hands and knees crawling.
Yeah.
And it was disgusting sewer water there.
Yeah,
so it
yeah.
was pretty, but we were like sidestepping on each side of it.
Yeah, you kind of almost run on the sides.
Yeah, and we would start doing it after school and just going, how far can we get? Then one day when we were at his house one day and we went to his house early. It's probably 11 a.m. This is after school, like not on a school day. And he said, that's it. We're going in deep. We went in deep and we go, okay, we're going to go as far as we can. We got lanterns. We got everything. It was crazy. I'd never seen it so much detail. Dude, we were passing inside people's backyards. We were under the great sewers.
Whoa.
So we would just see a dog sometimes.
Really?
Yeah. We kept going. Then it got
my
so
God.
low that we couldn't crawl anymore. And it was probably only about that high.
Dude, that's so dangerous.
And then we said, okay, we can do this, but we got to get more material. So, and we had already walked about 40 minutes in.
Yeah.
Then we got out and we went back out. We went back to his house. We grabbed skateboards. We grabbed rope. And we said, okay, one person's going to shimmy down with a rope tied to the skateboard. They're going to shimmy across all the way to the bottom of the tunnel. Then they're going to pull the skateboard in, and the next person's going to do it. And the next person. We did that. Then once we got past that part, it all opened up again, and we were in some huge junction center of the sewerage where like mass sewerage was meeting.
Oh, there's like all these different pipes and stuff.
Yeah, all these different pipes went into this area.
Wow, dude. I'm picturing like a Spider-Man and all those movies
Dude,
where
we
you
thought
see
it
like
was
all
also, it was so quiet. It was so eerily quiet. It was like,
How big are we talking? Like, is this central area for all the dumping to happen? Is it like the size of a train station inside?
almost.
Wow.
It was like there was, so as we were in this single tunnel for a while, then it spaced out and became 2 tunnels, and then it spaced out and became 4 tunnels, and it was really wide, like, I don't know, 4 times wider than this room.
And not one bit of graffiti?
Nothing.
Wow. So no one's been daring
So
enough
no
to
one
go
had
this
been
far.
there because you couldn't get in unless you pulled a grate open and went in from someone's yard or something. But
Yeah.
then we searched in. We had passed like multiple service stations. We were so far underground. We had no idea where we were. But also, one of these times it happened and it started to rain. And we were deep, man. We were
That would freak
deep.
me
And
out.
the water started to come like really high.
I can imagine it fills up quick because it's
real
all
quick.
directions
And
of
it was
just dumpage.
sprinkling like a little bit, and I
Yeah.
could hear the water rushing, and we're like, "Oh my god, how are we gonna get out?"
Yeah, dude. This is so dangerous.
So we got to a point where I think we just got tired and we couldn't go anymore. We just said, "I don't know how far we are. We've been walking for over an hour."
Yeah.
And I think if we keep going, we're just going to get completely lost. But we're at this junction and we thought, oh my God, we were kind of on some adventure. Maybe we find some secret cave.
You get
as a
excited when
kid.
you're in high
I think
school.
it was
and
about
primary
12.
school. Yeah, you get adventurous. Like I remember doing this sort of stuff. Not like that, but like you get on the bikes and you just go to places you've never been before and just start exploring.
Well, we were with my mate's brother who was a lot older than us.
Right.
So we would go real deep and we kind of felt a bit better. But I'd wear my bike helmet because when I was running, there was like broken pipes and spiky metal shards that were sticking out. So one time I smacked my head so hard, if I wasn't wearing a helmet, I probably would have gashed my head open and been bleeding like crazy.
Wow.
At one point we did try and take our bikes in because then we could just pedal and go down the things real quick, but there was too much mud. If it was a dry day, we could do it most of the time and it was quite good. But it was a big mission and we did that probably about 20 to I reckon we did it at least 30 to 50 times. We went in there, each time going further and further and marking
Choosing
out where
different
the path that
pipes.
it took us, we only got to that big junction center once because it was that big.
and you could
We calculated
we
calculated I think we went at least one suburb over underground.
We should get the blueprints of the sewerage
The
system
schematic and find out how far
and see how far you actually went.
Yeah, so it was real far. But anyway, that time where it was raining, I remember us rushing out like crazy because I didn't really know the severity of the situation of it being so serious.
You never
that
do when you're a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the older brother said, we have to get out.
Yeah.
I said, okay. He was panicking. So we left with the skateboards and everything. And I think at the end, we just ended up like sprinting on our hands and knees, like getting completely wet in the grime and the muck and stuff. So you would have been pretty freaked out, I imagine.
Oh, I was freaked out from the spider part.
Yeah, and we saw so many. There was like bunches where it's like 100 cockroaches in one clump. You know, there was every turn there were bugs. Like you could not take one step without bugs around you.
Oh, jeez.
So we got to that big junction center, and I think we even tried to bring lock cutters to try and get through padlocks and break through and keep going.
Yeah.
I don't know how far we were in, man, but we were real far in that. And we just thought it was such a cool adventure. Never got injured. Never told our parents what we did.
Oh, thank God.
But that time that we got out, the water, by the time we left, about 1 minute later, the water was halfway up the huge pipe. So I would have been up to my waist.
Halfway up the huge pipe.
The whole pipe was bursting like as if it'd been like half the pipe was just flowing with water that's how much water would come out when it rained.
Jeez. Is this before or after the skinny part where you had to like go in?
After that. Dude, so when we got to the main section where we started, we were out.
Yeah.
That huge pipe that we could stand in, that one was full, like half full, just spewing water out.
Did you just make it out?
Yeah, we just made it out.
Oh man, that was just crazy.
Yeah.
That's so scary, man. Imagine being trapped on the other skinny side of that.
You'd be dead.
Yeah, you'd just be
They
trapped.
would have just completely swept us away.
Yeah, wow. That reminded me of two things. One, hearing the story recently of those people that do like the cave spelunking and where they kind of go in blind and they try and find pockets to find exits out of other caves. And there was this story of this guy going on this popular cave enclosure, which was like, obviously this is something that's like, it's one of those sports where you can't guarantee you can do as many safety things as you want. It's like natural rock climbing where you're putting in your hooks and stuff. It's like you can be as safety as you can, but at the same time, huge risk.
Yeah.
There was this popular cave that a lot of people were going in, and there's a part where it's quite narrow, and you got to go down, and then it scoops out. The problem is that nearby there's almost an identical little notch that goes down, and this guy went down and sucked his body in to get through this narrow part, and then it opened up just enough for him to get through, but it was a dead end, and he was essentially trapped face down in a little pocket just big enough for him that he couldn't go back out because he sucked his body in to get through the skinnier part, so he was trapped and died upside down.
Oh my God.
Imagine not being able to move with just rock all around you, face down.
And just knowing it's coming.
And you just gotta wait.
So he was by himself?
I think he might have been with other people, but it's one of those things where it's like you can't be with people close by. You know, you just...
And he'd just be yelling out, I'm stuck. Yeah. What a way to go.
I don't think your voice would even travel that far, would it? Because...
the rock is not moving much.
It's not.
Why do people
off.
get so risky with that?
I don't
stuff?
get that. I've always wondered that. Look, and
what's
like
the thrill of it?
People will say I'm stupid for even saying this about skydiving, but
is it like what I did as a kid, but on steroids because they're getting some thrill of going somewhere where someone else has never been?
I personally don't see. I don't get it like skydiving or bungee jumping because you're feeling awesome because you just survived something so risky. Like, I'm okay with my life that I don't need to toy with it to feel alive.
Yeah, same.
Like, I can't imagine doing bungee jumping and just be like, whoo, I didn't die. That's not fun for me. I'm just happy to just keep like walk along the bridge. I don't need that. So that's interesting that people do that. But yeah, that is terrifying. I'd imagine going that way as well. Oh, and I think like I don't really get claustrophobic, but if I can't physically move,
if I can't turn around, that's a big thing for me.
If I'm physically trapped, I get panicked.
Of course.
Yeah.
I couldn't go in a tight space where I can't turn around.
Yeah.
See, the one that I went into, it was low, but there was always a way you could spin and your arms would never touch the sides. Oh, well, you could touch the sides, but you would never be able not to spin. You Couldn't always turn around.
Do you reckon as an adult you'll be able to fit through that narrow part?
I don't think so.
You just plug it.
No, I went there as an adult. I think, not as an adult, but I think when I was 18 and had a look.
Yeah.
I haven't grown that much since I was 18.
Only your arms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's massive bicep now. But I pretty much thought, wow, how did I fit in the first section of the tunnel? Because the first section of the tunnel was like up to here.
Oh wow.
And I thought,
Growth spurt.
I couldn't walk it now. My back would be too sore.
Jeez. That's terrifying. I mean, as a kid, you're not thinking of that at all, but as an adult, man, holy crap, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
It reminded me also of this horror movie called Tunnels. The Tunnel. Have you heard of it? It's based in Sydney.
No, I don't know it. No.
So I think it came out in mid 2000s. I'm going to say maybe early, and it takes place all under Sydney, and it's so freaky because it is based on these actual tunnels that are all under Sydney CBD and even Hyde Park, and it takes this crew go down St James Station, and
I think I do know this.
and all these homeless people go missing in there every year, and they make a whole horror movie about it. But the freaky part about that is like there's all these abandoned train lines and things under Sydney that we're still discovering. And I don't know if you've heard of this. It made news a couple of years ago, but near the Art Gallery of New South Wales, they actually underground they found a whole oil tanker, like fuel bunker.
Yeah.
And they actually, like, they never even knew it existed, and they're actually transforming it into a interactive exhibit. But I'm bringing up photos for you right now. But for anyone listening, check it out. Just look up.
It's the world's smallest picture.
Yeah, I know. But these are like some concept art for how it's going to look. But this is all filled with fuel back in like World War II.
That's sick. How
And
can there be no recollection of it?
It's so bizarre for something to be so large and not like, you know, on the maps or anything like that. So it's I can't imagine how many things are underneath Sydney that no one knows about.
Cool.
But yeah, it's going to be fully transformed into this whole installation, unless it's already started, which is pretty cool. But yeah, not used for absolute years. Massive giant cave.
Yeah, interesting.
Crazy.
I thought you were going to talk about the movie The Descent. Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
I love that film.
I liked it, but I remember number 2 just being such garbage.
I didn't watch number 2 because I knew it was bad.
Yeah, it's not.
But I watched it at a friend's house where, you know, you go to your friend's house and they pull out the scariest movie in their DVDs when the parents went home and chuck it on and go, this is full on. But The Descent, where the like deformed humans that have gone and devolved into like other species, was so freaky.
The Descent is essentially like the tunnel.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
I heard about the tunnel, I think at uni, maybe someone mentioned it.
It came out around that time when we were in college and uni.
I remember the St. James Station thing.
Yeah, yeah.
It's an Aussie film then.
Aussie film. Yeah.
Is it good?
I think it's pretty good. Yeah, and I think well, for me it was more scary because obviously it's like more tangible. Like we've been to St. James Station, and you're like, oh my god, like what's down there?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's like just lakes under there.
Wow.
Because they're just filled with water, these abandoned like shafts and all that sort of stuff. So I can't imagine the network. Supposedly, I mean, I haven't really done a deep dive into this, but there is people that were commissioned to help build that whole system. There's, I think, hidden entrances in Sydney that have been heavily hidden from the public that only the workers know about. And I think there's like things in there that aren't, I guess, that are hidden from the public, which is interesting. I don't know. You had to talk to a few people.
We got to go check it out. Maybe another Darkie run.
Yeah, go on another little Darkie run.
That's what I used to call them. Let's do a Darkie run quick before school starts. Let's
Jeez.
go.
How do you have time before school? Oh my God.
We would
You'd be
always
so
rock
dirty.
up early. Nah, yeah, we'd be pretty filthy. I was so sweaty every day to school anyway, dude. I'd be sweating it out in my, like, you had to wear like formal black shoes. So I'm just pedaling in this tucked in shirt and that was stupid. All right, hit me, boy. What you got?
Let's see what I got here. Oh, here we go. You're familiar with the
Yes.
Easter Island Moai? The Easter Island heads?
Yeah.
Yeah. So have you seen those actual photos of them entirely?
Where they've dug them out from the ground. Yeah, they're like not just the head. There's a whole body
Whole
there.
body. It's crazy that went on for so long without us knowing. It's like there's like a modern discovery. Well,
I guess you don't want to touch the structure as well.
yeah. But then there was some like that were like you could clearly see they have these carvings all on the back of their heads, and you could have seen that like it just stopped. And I think there's no harm in like choosing one to excavate around just for scientific purposes if you did it professionally. But they actually uncovered a few artifacts on that island, and there was a traditional form of writing native to that area called rongo rongo.
Okay, cool.
And traditionally, I believe only members of the upper class and like I guess more religious figures had the means to read and write this language. But these days, no one knows what the text, how to read this text or interpret it. So it's kind of like a lost language, which is kind of crazy. And there's several artifacts made out of wood and stone carvings. And I'm bringing up a few photos for you to have a look over here.
Interesting.
But yeah, like there's like really elaborate carvings made out of wood and even out of stone, which is kind of cool. And they're kind of like hieroglyphic even.
Yeah,
It's a symbol system. And yeah, we don't really know it. I think the word Rongo has Polynesian ties. In neighboring countries, that word does have meaning. I think to do with like the word language or to read. So this may have translated into something similar to a language that's nearby. But
so they have they can't interpret this now. It's too lost.
Yeah, it's too lost. No one knows how to read this. They can't interpret it. So that's kind of crazy.
I couldn't imagine how many languages are lost like that, and how much history in the world is lost.
It baffles me. I mean, like, and you
can
like
tell there's some sort of story there for sure.
Yeah, that's such made with such purpose, and it's crazy because like I feel like I've heard of people decoding scriptures and texts and stuff from olden times. I don't know. I'm not a linguistic expert, but I thought people that specialize in this sort of stuff would be able to decode it. That's pretty crazy. But yeah, it's kind of I was thinking the exact same thing. I don't know how many ancient texts or symbols have been lost over the years. Fascinating.
It reminds me of I can imagine, man. I've heard so many stories of people losing their history and their culture just because maybe there's only one person that can speak it, or if they've lost the ability. Are they trying to describe it? Are they trying to?
I think this may
break it down. Do
they
think
more symbols and seeing the similarities and dotting them down?
Do you think AI would ever be able to interpret it?
That is a good question.
Because can it make sense though of something completely random and go, this is the symbolic system that they're using. These are the letters they represent. But then how can the AI put meaning to those things? Can it actually make it up if you just, for instance, if you had an AI that never knew English and you just put an essay in front of it, could it even determine what you're talking about? Because you're not relating anything to anything unless you know the base language. You've lost it completely, right?
I think it's hard because I feel like for an AI to develop, it would have a base knowledge of everything that already exists on the internet.
Yeah.
So it's hard to create AI without it already knowing language.
Yeah, but for instance, if it's trying to decode this language, do you think it could do it?
I feel like it could, only because a race like this surely would have come about at a time where there would have been knowledge being transferred amongst cultures. And surely there's other races that are nearby to this island that have something similar enough that they can kind of transfer. Because for those of you listening, we'll bring up the images on the screen, but for those of you listening, the language itself, the characters, they just look like little symbols of like agriculture or animals or plants. It's very hieroglyphic looking, and you can tell like it obviously just had significance to the lifestyle. There's definitely like an art form to it.
Yeah.
But I guess, I feel like an AI could figure it out. I mean, it would just take like learning the art form to figure out what these symbols translated to,
Yeah.
and then
You'd have to pull it from somewhere. You'd have to get base knowledge from another place and
Yeah.
go, well, this place uses similar dialect. They have a different, system, but some of the symbols can relate.
Yeah.
This is the way they phrase things. Maybe you could pull something up like that.
Yeah.
I'm sure in the future they're going to be able to crack this thing. It reminds me of the Rosetta Stone. You know, that I believe that was the only way we were able to interpret hieroglyphics, was because we had the Rosetta Stone.
right, it's like a key.
Yeah, it was a key. So
Yeah.
the scripts were Demotic, hieroglyphic, and Greek. And the only way we were able to, I think, break down the hieroglyphs was because we still had Greek language around.
Right.
And so they said, we've got Greek. So this is the same text in all three languages. And it was like a cipher key almost to say, if this is the three states of text are the same, then this is the language for each. And that's how we were able to decode the hieroglyphs, I believe.
I think that's right, and I think the hieroglyphic language in itself is a more modern thing, right? Because Cleopatra is what you were saying last time. Cleopatra was around closer to the invention of the iPhone than she was to the creation of the pyramids. I believe.
I was talking about dinosaurs, dude.
Wasn't there something similar to that?
Maybe you mentioned it.
I have heard of that.
Really?
Yeah. Let me.
So she's like really new.
Hold the fort. Let me look that up.
Well, I was thinking about how smart these guys are that did the Rosetta Stone, because they got together three different cultures and said, okay, we need a way to translate amongst cultures from now on. Let's write the same three words, the same three scripts in our languages on this one block, so people in the future will know. That's such a smart thing to do.
For sure.
And they said it was made in 196 BC.
Well, dude, Cleopatra lived closer to the release of the first iPhone than she did to the building of the pyramids of Giza.
What year was she around? That's pretty interesting.
Well, I guess according to this, the pyramids of Giza were built between 2550 BCE and 2490 BCE. By historians' estimates, about 2,421 years later, in 69 BCE, Cleopatra, the last active pharaoh of the ancient Egypt, was born.
Only 69. Oh, so man, this was almost 200 years, 150 years before her that the Rosetta Stone was made.
You're right.
So this is 196
So I think,
BC.
she's a more modern figure.
Wow.
I think, I don't want to butcher this because my history isn't that great. And I'm sure that people listening after all this time have figured that out. But I think, wasn't she around the same time Caesar was around? Or some predominant figure in Europe. Like, she was known around the world. This was, I guess, modern time.
100 BC to 44 BC, Julius Caesar reigned from 46 BC to 44 BC. Yeah, almost spot on.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah, he died in his thing. How old was he? 66.
And according to last week's episode, he was stabbed 23 times.
Oh, wow, okay. All of them got stabbed, though.
Yeah, 23 times
There
exactly.
was at least one ruler for every number. There's one, you got two, you got 100.
Yeah.
Wow, so I didn't know Julius Caesar was that old. I thought he was, in my head, I thought, in the hundreds of years. 100 AD. Oh, like 800 AD.
Right. Yeah, I mean...
I didn't think he was around 2,000 years ago. I heard Mark Zuckerberg, was it him or Napoleon? I heard Mark Zuckerberg keeps his hair shit because he wants to look like Julius Caesar.
I'm sure that's the reason why, I'm sure. It's funny, like, all these rich dudes somehow reverse their aging, like Bezos and Elon Musk. He has looked more and more bug-like the richer he's gotten.
Yeah,
like,
I know. He's getting weirder and weirder.
Like, you look at a young Elon Musk and he looks like a broke-down dude with, like,
Augustus
thin hair.
Caesar. Augustus Caesar might explain Facebook's CEO's haircut, which his wife Priscilla Chen is cutting during quarantine. Oh no. Was it Napoleon?
What do you think Zuckerberg does genuinely in his free time, or is he just a freaking robot?
That guy is just crazy. What? I heard he cut his hair to represent like Julius Caesar or something.
I heard he cut his hair to look like a human.
The internet roasts Mark Zuckerberg's hair.
That's not all they roast.
It's such a bad hairline. Like, why do you cut it like a bowl cut like that? It looks ridiculous.
What else can you do with that head?
Grow it out and style it. Oh my God.
Just change it. Change your face. What else to bringing up was there's no real hieroglyphics about the creation of the pyramids, is there?
There's no hieroglyphics about how they were created?
No.
No, I don't think so.
That's a very interesting. So that leads me to think that what that
Augustus
does for me.
Caesar, I think, is what he was trying to do.
That's what people think he was trying to do. I think they're just
I
trying
think
to
he's
make
talked
sense
about
of
it. Like
himself.
he appreciated Napoleon or something, how he conquered everyone and just fucked everything up.
He doesn't. I don't see that guy as having any genuine interests.
No, that guy's just addicted to power and money. So, you've watched The Social Dilemma on Netflix? No. Okay, I think it's worth a watch. It's got some stupid physical representation of what it's like, what the AI is doing and the algorithm is doing to kind of scare the audience, especially the boomers, to go, this is what the AI is doing. That's kind of dumb. But the message is very clear in how powerful Facebook is. It's scary.
Oh, yeah.
Mark Zuckerberg owns most of the company, so he has the final say over everything. All the board of directors say this, and he goes, nah, it's that. Because I think he owns more than 50%. So he just makes whatever he wants happen. No one else has any control.
He'd have several people advising him, though.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, people vote against it, and he says, no, I'm sorry.
He has final say.
I have final say over everything.
He has 51%.
He has more.
Yeah.
I believe he has 51% or more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but that guy day to day, what do you think his day to day life is like? All right, let's go. Wakes up, go. You're Mark Zuckerberg. What do you do?
Quantum shower. First thing in the morning.
Quantum shower, yeah.
First thing in the morning, quantum shower. Eat a bar that has all the nutrients.
He owns 12.8%.
Nothing.
But I think that makes him the largest shareholder.
Oh, God. He wakes up, has a quantum shower.
Yep.
Which is water.
Oh, no, he owns 30%. Yep.
All your facts are messed up.
Oh, fucking Google. There you go.
All right. He wakes up, has a quantum shower.
Yep.
With water that is imported from the Himalayas.
Yep.
Melting ice caps.
Yep.
He then has a bar.
Flavored with some polar bear death.
A little bit, just a sprinkle. Not too much, because he's watching his weight.
Yep.
And then he has a bar which has all
the human nutrients the nutrients a human can require in their day.
It is actually made from mother's milk from one woman from each country. And it's processed into a protein bar.
Little granola bar type thing.
Yeah, he has that. And then he sits on a bean bag made from corn husks. And as he digests it, and he plugs himself in to recharge for the day.
Yeah.
And he starts updating and downloading. Sorry, he starts downloading all of his tasks for the day. Once that happens, he then has a bowel movement, which is done by actual like three guys come in and they massage his stomach in certain ways and actually push the poo out for him. He actually doesn't do any pushing.
Yeah. Okay.
He actually sits in this apparatus and all of the pushing is done for him. And then he then goes to the board meetings, which are
straight from there,
9 to 5. And he sits at the top of this, I'm going to say it's like 100-kilometer table of just filled with just old dudes, just board members.
Yeah.
There's wrinkly old dudes. And basically just has a sheet in front of him. And he just like starts ticking off things that he likes and making little marks about what he doesn't like. And then he goes home into a chamber, puts a mask on, and then just boots down for the day.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I think this guy's completely off the plot. I agree. Like, his day must be so ridiculous.
Do you think he's heaps busy like Elon Musk busy, or he is like as
I think
busy
he's a
as like the
complete
top manager
psycho.
at a corporate company.
I think he's a complete psycho off the book.
Like we're talking like a 4-hour sleep a day type of diet.
I don't know if it's like that. I don't know if he's mad aggressive. I know Steve Jobs was a fucking nut job. You heard about that?
I have, and dude,
People
you know
say
what?
he'd lose the plot. Like
I
he
don't
would
know
lose
why
it.
they put Steve Jobs on a pedestal.
No.
Honestly,
It was Wozniak was the genius behind it.
I can't stand when people say he's like the best creator of our time. It's like, dude, I think you need to think about like what he actually did and also what type of person he was.
Straight up.
Yeah, I don't know.
Apparently, he was a disgusting human.
Could you really look at the Zuck and like I don't know, I feel like what's his name? We were just talking about him. Apple.
Steve Jobs.
He has this like look about him that's kind of menacing. You can see him getting angry and you being like, whoa. With Zuckerberg, I can't even picture him raising his voice. And if he did, I don't like. I feel like I could just like, just shut up.
Just smack him.
Just shut up. Like I don't care if I'm fired. Like, who are you?
Yeah.
You string bean.
I think behind closed doors, he could be quite rare, like weird.
I can't picture him raising his voice. I can picture him getting like frustrated, like going, "Look, guys, look, I don't really like. Look, I just got like 3 meetings and only 2 slots of time. And I just think that's something like just pedantic, moving back and forth. I can't picture him being like, "All right, that's it. We're doing this my way or the fucking highway."
I feel like he could.
More updates.
I know what you mean, but I feel like he could.
Really?
I feel like all those guys don't get to the top without being some sort of lunatic.
That dude doesn't even look like he's confident in himself. Anytime you see him...
so, look at Bill Gates, right? He looks like the nicest motherfucker in the world,
Nah,
right?
he looks savage, dude.
Okay,
I
because
can
people
see
said
behind
they
his
go
eyes.
into meetings
Yeah.
and he was fucking ruthless.
Nah, you can see it in their eyes. He looks like...
He's about to
He's
snap
one of those,
like Tom Cruise eyes.
Yeah, dude. It's heaps reserved and in control of himself. But the way he delivers it, you know you're in shit.
Okay,
you can see that in his eyes. With Zuckerberg, honestly, dude, it looks like a pushover.
Okay, wow. But
If you went to
he's
a company
lunatic
and you saw Zuckerberg giving envelopes to all people like he was the mail dude in a classic sitcom,
you'd be like, "Who's this
I'd
guy's
believe
the
it.
idiot?"
I'd believe it.
Yeah, I agree.
He doesn't look like a
his
CEO.
His face doesn't match his. Maybe when he gets older and he just commit to the full cyborg look.
Do you think? Oh man, because like I mean, I don't know if
Start looking like Bezos, where it's like more and more supervillain as he gets older.
I feel like these really financial figures tend to have like a very like a strong identity. You know, your Steve Jobs, your Bezos, and all that. When you picture them, you know exactly what they look like and how they're going to look like. With Zuckerberg, do you think he's still trying to find what his look is?
He dresses so random.
He dresses like he shops at Big W.
Yeah. But so did Steve Jobs.
Nah, but he had a uniform because it was just like, you know, what was it like? I don't have time
The black
to get.
skivvy.
I don't have time to get
jeans
dressed because
and
it's like some bullshit designer shit. So I wear the same outfit every day to save time and money.
Okay.
I think that was the rationale behind it.
He was blue jeans and black t-shirt.
Because
and
time is money. I don't want to
joggers.
spend time to think of an outfit. That was his rationale, I believe.
Okay.
So that makes sense. You know, pretentious designer stuff.
Whatever. I hate the guy because Steve Wozniak did all the work and he just sold it and stole it.
I just can't stand designers that think Apple is like the most amazing thing. You need Apple to be a designer. It's so cringy.
Yeah, you don't. I'd feel like their design is lacking, but their ecosystem is good, but it's really expensive. But at least they treat you well in the ecosystem, but it's really expensive to get in.
You're so
and
limited.
The design is very like, it was good for a bit. Some stuff was
they were
revolutionary.
fantastic at one stage, but I'd say around 2014, 2015, they
lost.
They were left in their tracks, and PC went straight past them.
Yeah.
Microsoft and all that just went, see you later.
Yeah, okay.
You had it for many years. You probably had it since the 80s. Gone now, dude.
Gone.
Your beautiful display is not going to save you anymore. You can't do shit.
Yeah, but some people still love it. I could never get on board with the ecosystem.
Anytime
I got a Mac here, but it's not even mine. It works.
I'll talk to Apple fanboys.
You watch soon. I'm gonna have that big motherfucker right here. next couple of weeks. It'll be,
Daniel's going to bring in a full desktop
it's gonna be
PC.
bigger than the room.
It's a quantum computer. You're gonna bring in
Quantum computer.
Yeah, yeah.
It's gonna be all hooked up.
It's actually going to be the whole back wall.
Yeah, all you hear is when I turn on.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Beep, beep, beep,
You
beep.
should hear how loud our server rooms are at work. It's insane.
Is there heaps cold in there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's so windy and loud. It's like a hurricane. It's like, you know, the thing where they open it up in like a level 5, DEFCON 5 storm in the Antarctic, and it's like, and it's a blizzard. It's like that.
You're struggling to close the door and stuff.
Yeah.
Daniel, dumb thought that I thought of
This is
today.
a cold thoughts.
This is another quantum thought.
We're going to make a segment, cold thoughts.
Cold thoughts, half-baked thoughts by Dipesh.
Yeah.
This is such a dumb one. And I had another half-baked thought.
Okay.
Are there people smarter than other people? Or are people just able to store information and regurgitate it on command better than others?
That's a really tricky question. But I'm going to take it. Do you want me to take it real serious?
Give me both ways.
Okay. One is like computers aren't people.
Yes.
So then it's, of course, like you can technically be, yeah, of course there's dumb people. Of course, man. I would say 100%. There's dumb people. There's great, super smart people too.
Because the way I was thinking of is like, say you're cliche dumb person, right? Making simple life errors. For someone to see someone do something a certain way and be like, oh, that's a really good way of doing that. I'm going to remember to do that way next time. That's getting better at life. It's not necessarily just like a job, like information to get a better career, be more successful. I'm just picturing like just simple things like making a cup of coffee. There's probably a really efficient way, and then someone would just be like, knock a cup off the table. And there's people that are prone to doing that all the time, and there's people that are like very organized.
Yeah,
and
sure.
it's because they're observing and seeing what's the best way to do things, because they're learning constantly and be able to flush out the information. And there's other people that are just like living.
Okay, I'll take the question seriously and let's go. What's smart? You know, an Eastern cultured monk might go, oh yeah, you can build all this crazy stuff and you can use computers really well and you're able to call people on the other side of the world. But they go, are you in tune with your body?
Yeah.
Can you meditate? Are you one with nature? You've polluted the earth. That's the dumbest shit you could do. They might look at us and go, that is the dumbest thing in the world, that you're just polluting and using and spoiling the planet and you're not repairing it in any way. And you're wasting the planet away for your own children.
That's a good way to put it, dude, because there's not really a good basis to show what's
smart.
What's smart, yeah.
But then I think smartness has to come along with it. I think I would say kindness and compassion. You know, you look at the world, and I think a dumb person, when I just think dumb, but this is just me. It's like a dumb person is take everything from myself. I'm out to get everything that I want, and everyone else is second to me. And I'm just going to do what's good for me right now without any forward thinking. But then I would say a smart person would go, well, I will want to work with my community, work with the people around me to build a better place around me. But that's, again, like, that's being kind of materialistic. Maybe a true monk or a Buddha would go, well, all of that is material thinking. All you need to do is be content with yourself.
I think what you're also touching upon is, do smarts really have anything to do with the value of the best parts of life?
That's right.
Like, you don't necessarily need anything materialistic or smarts to be pleasantly happy and content in life.
That's
and
true.
Give out good energy.
Yeah. You could be the dumbest person in the world, let's say, but you could be so kind and so understanding and so compassionate and so willing to listen that you would come off as a genius.
Damn, that half-baked question got a deep answer.
Deep.
I like that.
Give me another one.
I mean, let me have a little sneak through my files over here. Let's see if I got any other half-baked. Another dumb thought I had.
There you go.
This is to do with when we were talking about shrinkification with chips and all that sort of stuff we're talking about.
Yeah, shrinkflation.
I was thinking of imagine like taking consumer goods like chips or fast food and just bringing them just as far back as the 80s and giving it to someone in modern 80s, like a Western culture, like giving someone in the 80s like a Big Mac. Do you reckon they would be like, all right, where's the real one?
I think they'd hate it.
Because I can picture them not even believing you. If you came from the future and said, this is the Big Mac we have right now, they'd be like, well, like, what's the joke? What's the joke?
How far are we going back? You said the 80s.
The 80s.
Oh, okay.
Not even that far back. It's just the 80s. But things have shrunk so much since then.
I think they'd be...
Like a Pringle.
I think they would say something along the lines of, what's happened to it? Why is it so small?
I don't think...
It's definitely shrunk.
I don't think they would even believe that it's real, to be honest. I think if you were to bring it back, they'd be like, why would that be like that?
I think people say the taste the same as it's always tasted, but I honestly think it's tasting worse and worse as time goes on. The chicken nuggets I remember used to be good. Now they taste like nothing.
Macca's taste like shit. It's really bad.
Even when as a kid, did you ever enjoy it?
I was a really picky eater as a kid, so all I had was the chips.
Okay.
There, I have a distinct memory of trying my first nugget when I was younger.
I remember trying the nugget and going, I like this.
My theory
Sweet and sour sauce, that has never changed.
I actually got brought up with sweet Thai chili sauce from Macca's growing up. They stopped that. But my theory would be is that we were allowed to use more food additives and chemicals that America used back in the 90s, which since then have probably been taken out because
eradicated.
Of Australia's health standards.
Yeah, it's very good.
I'm assuming that could be the case, and that's why so many things when we were younger tasted great, because it was it's kind of a free for all. I think there's a lot more additives and things added. Now it's all about health. So I think you're probably getting. I mean, even something as big as Macca's when they changed from and to sunflower oil or something, whatever to cook with. I can imagine that had a huge. The adults at the time would have been like, "Oh, these chips taste like shit.
Yeah,
I want my chips deep fried in animal fat."
Yeah,
I reckon that would have been just as big of a change. So I think all these little health things change the taste. That's my theory.
I think the thick shakes have changed one of the most.
Well, wasn't that also animal fat?
Yeah, I heard it was animal fat
in the soft serve.
That's what I remember. My uncle always having this story saying
it's pig fat.
It's pig fat, and I was like, no, it's not.
So you get gelatin.
It was
all gummy lollies essentially.
And the thick shakes now taste horrible, but before, I bet you they were 10 times worse for you before.
Dude, I saw a video. It was like I guess like a animal rights video. And it was in reverse of a pack of gummy lollies, and it shows the process of how they're made, but in reverse. And it gets to a point where it's just like, if it's playing in real time, the skin gets shaved off by this machine that just takes like the layer of skin off, and then it gets like stripped down into these ribbons, and then processed down into this bubbling liquid, and then flavors and additives are added, and then it gets pushed through molds. And then it comes out as like gummy lollies, and it was just so gross to see like these sugary gummy lollies in a packet turn into just this pig fat, which is so gross.
Yeah, I can believe it. I got so many problems with the health industry in terms of and food. I donate every year to the I used to donate to the Yulin dog meat festival. Do you know that one?
No, I haven't heard of it.
Next episode. It's too dark to end on. And I donate to the bears, the Chinese bears, where they use the bile for the medicine.
Right.
I donate every year to that.
Yeah,
because
nice.
I'm like big. I remember watching a thing about cows at work, and I cried.
It's heavy, dude. Some of the documentaries.
The way they were treating the cows and the force feeding, I was just like, these cows are unwell, and they stopped refusing food, and the guys just shoving the pipes down their throat to like force feed them like the sludge so they get fat.
Oh, that's terrible.
And I'm like, I just started like tearing up at work and went, I think I need to go home. I think I called a sickie.
It'll make you become vegan. It'll make you become vegan.
That's so bad. Thank God we have Australia where it's pretty good.
We got strong laws.
We got strong, like if there's like, dude, we stopped selling our meat to China because they were, they said you need to if we sell you the cattle, you need to change your laws to be like ours.
They're like,
and they were like, no. They were like, fine, Have no
ya.
cattle. See ya.
Yeah.
And then apparently I think they changed, at least those factories changed their laws.
Must be selected factories.
Selected
yeah.
factories changed their laws and they said, okay, we'll follow your standards.
Right.
And then we said, okay, you can have the cattle.
And then they sell our cattle on black market over there.
Yeah, that's it.
We're gonna end on a happier note, dude. I got a story. Do we have time?
Yeah. How long is it? We're at time now.
Okay. I want to end it on a lighter note.
Yeah, okay, hold on.
A little mini extension.
No, hold on. I got to read the worst dad joke in the world.
Oh God, I have a story. This Big Mac talk reminded me of a story that happened to me one time.
All right, just make it quick.
I'll give you the abridged version.
Give me the cliff notes.
One time, me, a mate, and so two mates of mine, a guy and a girl, were hanging out at Macca's late at night. This was when you were like studying and you had all those random days off, and it was a late one. I think it was like, you know, those 24-hour Macca's. Sometimes they close at like 10 or 11 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
We're inside, just sitting down, probably having like an ice cream or whatever. And this guy looks like he just got off work. He had like a full coveralls on, looked like a mechanic or something. And the Macca's is empty. And we're just tucked in near the registers. And he grabs his meal and he sees us and he goes, "Oh, is this seat taken?" And we're like, nah, it's all good. And like, so this is like, we got the table and the table next to us and the rest of the Macca's is empty.
Yeah.
And he starts like trying to make small talk. And he's like, opens up the Big Mac. He's like, I remember these being a lot bigger. And then he gets like a phone call and it was a theme song for like Boston Legal or some shit. And he gets up and he starts going like, you know, adjusting his tie and like pretending he's like a lawyer or something and miming out this theme song that's playing on his phone. And we're just like,
This guy's on cocaine.
dude, he was bouncing off the walls. Anyway, he's trying to make small talk with us and he hears us start wrapping up, like we're trying to get away from him, and he starts scoffing his food, and then he's like, "Yeah, I'm about done too." And he walks out with us, and there's no cars in the car park other than his car, my friend's car, who was parked. He parked next to her, and me and my buddies in another car who we were parked a little bit further away. We walked slowly to get to our car so we could make sure she gets into her car. She got into her car. And he gets into his car and we see him starting to talk to her through the window. And we're just sitting in the car watching him. And then we just hear in the background like, fuck, this always happens to me. And then he just speeds off.
Whoa.
And we pull up next to her and we're like, "Are you okay?" Like, and she's like, "Yeah." Like he, you know, asked for my number or whatever. I politely declined and he just lost it. And he started speeding and we're just sitting in the car park talking for a while. And then we see his car slowly come on the road and then just pass it by. We're like, this is a bit sus. So we drove to another car park somewhere else. And we were like hiding out in the car park. And we swear we saw his car pass down the road like he was looking for us, dude. He was like, dude, he looked like a murderer.
He's coked out of his mind.
You're going to have this dude get off work at like 10 p.m., in coveralls, like acting like he's on coke, just raging around.
Whoa.
Freaky stuff, man. Freaky.
Wow. That's funny, kind of funny, but also very scary story.
And I hope that was a short enough version.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Actually, shorter than I thought.
I had to blitz through that one.
No, you're good. You did it well. I think you covered all the bases. And
yeah.
Man, that's weird. I'm so glad your friend didn't get hurt.
It was very freaky, dude. And I actually have a great story next episode that she actually experienced, which involves a murderer.
Whoa.
Yeah.
All right. Also, remind me of my Macca's story next episode.
I'm going to write that down.
Okay.
Write this down. Okay.
All right. We love you guys. We're signing off for another episode of Double Dose. We love you for joining in. And thank you for watching and listening as always.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
See ya.
Bye, guys. Bye.
Bye.